Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul. We are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. I want to say thank you guys so much for being here. Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Shauna. Good morning, Pepper, coming in from our Twitch stream. Wonderful to see you guys all here this morning. Thank you guys so much for being here. It is Thursday. The week is getting to be almost over. And I don't know about you, but I've had a very eventful week so far. Looking forward to just pulling another card off the top of the deck and doing the same thing we do every morning, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. I'm going to pull a card off the top. I'm going to ask you if you are the affirmation on the card, and we are going to respond out loud together. I am that affirmation. Let's declare it to the universe and also declare it to ourselves that we have these amazing, amazing traits that live inside of us. Good morning, Wendy. Wonderful to see you here today. So indeed, we are here once again to say some good stuff about us. So let's have some fun today. Let's pull a card and say that today I am limitless. I am limitless. I transcend old beliefs and discover new ways to be. So I am limitless. I transcend old beliefs and discover new ways to be. Are you limitless? You are limitless. You transcend old beliefs and discover new ways to be. So I'm going to write that down in the comment, and I encourage you guys to drop a comment as well as we declare that we are limitless people. Good morning, Shauna. Wonderful to see you here this morning. I'm going to write it down. I am limitless. I transcend old beliefs and discover new ways to be. Yes, I love this card. This is one of my favorite cards because for a large part of my life, I feel like I was stuck in limiting beliefs. That I had beliefs about myself or the world around me that limited what I was brave enough to do. And as I've gotten older, I've gotten a lot more brave about what I'm willing to do and how far outside my comfort zone I'm willing to step. Because in the end, it's the places that are outside of our comfort zone that we grow. Certainly, that's the places that I grow. I grow when I say that I'm going to do something that I've never done before, and then I do it. Marie Forleo has this little phrase that I love: "Everything is figure-outable," and it's just such a true little aphorism. Everything is figure-outable. Somebody else had done it before, and so I can do it too. Just because I haven't done it before doesn't mean that it's impossible. It just means I've never done it before. And I don't know about you, but I learn new things every day, and I do new things every day. And sometimes I get very self-conscious about the fact that I'm doing something that I've never done before. And when that happens in the past, what would go on is that I would be all self-conscious about it, and then in my brain I would invent all these reasons why I couldn't, and I would argue essentially for my own limiting belief. Of course, in retrospect, this is really silly, and it's stopped me from doing lots of things that I really wanted to do, desired to do, and thought that and really thought that would be good and beneficial for me. And so when I cut that crap out, when I stopped believing that I couldn't and started believing that I could, my life changed rapidly, dramatically, and quickly. And so I am limitless, and I transcend old beliefs. I discover new ways to be. And I'm really excited for the future now, because even though I'm not always sure exactly how I'm going to accomplish the things that I have purposed to do, I know that I can figure it out, and I have that experience and the wisdom to intuit how to get things done. And let's face it, I live in the year of our Lord 2024, and I have Google. And so if I don't know how to do something, Google typically does. And if I still don't know how to do something, ChatGPT typically can tell me how to do it. It's crazy the amount of information that's at our fingertips that teaches us how to do stuff. And even if Google and ChatGPT don't know exactly how to do it, because I'm doing something that is fairly new, and let me tell you, all innovators do things that are fairly new, that haven't really been tried before. The fact is that I can apply mental models in order to do it right, or I can apply mental models in order to give myself a framework in which to actuate the things that are important. And so I am limitless, and I transcend those old beliefs. I completely, it's not that I replace the old belief with a new belief. I just completely transcend that old belief. And I say that that old belief about me not being able to do things is a really, see, a really, um, yeah, a really a silly thing that was just holding me back. And I'm done being held back by myself. And I've discovered in life that a lot of times the most brilliant people are also the ones who are most capable of coming up with ideas or reasons why they couldn't or shouldn't. And people and other people just do it and figure it out along the way, and make a little bit of a mess of it and then clean up their mess. And I've discovered that making a little bit of a mess of it and then cleaning up your mess is a far superior choice, as opposed to just not doing it at all because we cock block ourselves and say, well, I mean, it won't work for this reason, that reason, the other reason. I used to have elaborate reasons why I couldn't be the person that I wanted to be. And those elaborate reasons were so logically sound and based in the facts of my life at the time. And let me tell you, they just prevented me from being happy. And so now I just say yes to things. I say yes to things even if I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do them, because I am 100% sure that I can figure it out. And I haven't yet been able to not been able to figure things out. I've always found a solution that works well for everything that I have tried. So I am limitless today, and you are limitless as well. And so consider the beliefs that you had maybe 5 years ago, and ask yourself, did those beliefs serve me? And if they did, the ones that served you, keep those beliefs. And the ones that didn't serve you, the ones that you learned and grew from, those are the ones that we need to pay special attention to. Back when I was, back when I was living in Costa Rica, I recognized that my life was pretty different. I had made different life choices than a lot of my peers, and I had gotten different results, which was kind of a lonely thing, honestly, because I had just done life so radically differently that I just didn't have all that much in common with the folks who were around me, because I was in a totally different country doing totally different things. And one of the things that was very interesting to me about that was that the the new ways to be that I had discovered, that those new ways to be were they were very empowering to me, but they were also a little bit disempowering because they had kind of isolated me. And so I had to find new people, new peers in my life who also were willing to transcend these old beliefs. And one of my mentors at the time, I was talking with one of my mentors, and I said, "How is it that I can help people to adopt these mindsets that have been beneficial to me? Like, I don't want them to be me. I don't think it would be beneficial for the folks around me to be like little carbon copies of me. The world, one of me is enough in the world, but one of you is essential in the world. The world needs one of you as in your absolute biggest, best, brightest, and boldest that you could possibly be." And one of my mentors said, he said, Paul, what you need to do is you need to consider who you were 5 years ago and talk to that person. And that's been something that has been very formative in my life. And I think about where I was 5 years ago, and what kind of advice that I would have given me 5 years ago. And then that's the advice that I dispense to myself today, or also to anybody who asks me for it. And so I am limitless, and this is one of the things that was very beneficial to me, or that I really would have benefited from about 5 years ago, is for somebody to teach me how to transcend those old beliefs and how to discover those new ways to be. And so that's why I talk about it today, because I have figured that out, and I do that every single day. The way to transcend old belief is to be open to new belief. And in order to be open to new belief, we have to have an inherent idea that things will work out and that we can figure them out, and that life itself is supportive of us, and that the dreams that we have in our hearts were assigned to us on the moment that we dreamed them. and that life itself is interested in experiencing them through us. Otherwise, why else would we have that dream? And so this is my impetus every day to just be a go-getter and go get it, and to make the dreams happen, and to grow and learn and evolve and change and become the person that I was born to be. I used to close my eyes and I would imagine this very powerful version of myself, and I'd be like, how on earth would I get there from here? Because I knew at the time that I was just putting stumbling blocks in my own way, and I didn't know how to stop. And so when I recognized that I could change my beliefs, that I could have that I could have a totally different life experience, and that really all I needed to change was my mind, and I didn't have to change my material reality. The material reality takes care of itself. That that all I need to do was change my mind, and I would make different choices, and those different choices would lead to different outcomes, and those different outcomes would lead to the changes that I was interested in seeking. But as I learned that, it really helped me to grow and develop and become a more actualized person. And so I am limitless today, and I encourage you to be limitless as well. I encourage you to transcend all belief. I encourage you to consider what beliefs are serving you right now, what beliefs that are causing you to grow and to develop and change, and then also what beliefs are not, what beliefs that are inside that are stopping you from growing and developing and changing. And when we consider these things thoughtfully, then the it becomes very clear which ones are good for us and which ones are not. And so let's keep the good ones, and then and get rid of the not so good ones. Let's keep what serves us and discard the rest in the process of growing and maturing. So let's see what you guys have to say. I see the comment section is fairly lit this morning. So let's say so. So Dan says, boldly go where no one has gone before. They could make a show about that. I think that would make a really amazing TV show, Dan. Fun fact. Gene Roddenberry was the writer for Star Trek, and Gene Roddenberry actually went to Hawaii, and most of you guys know, I've lived in Hawaii for many years. That's how I got the Maui Paul nickname. But anyway, Gene Roddenberry actually was stationed in Hawaii, over on Maui, in one of the camps over there, and he was very much enchanted with the voyage of Captain Cook, who was the one who discovered Hawaii. He discovered the land where people had been living for thousands of years, and they credited him with discovering it because he was the guy who discovered it and spoke English. But anyways, so he discovered Hawaii, and he did a whole lot of traveling, and he was basically traveled all around the Pacific, and went and marked out and mapped out a lot of different islands. And so Gene Roddenberry imagined this show set in space, where people on a spaceship were going boldly where no one had gone before, and it became Star Trek. And so the adventures of Captain Cook became the adventures of Captain Kirk. And so it was actually written based on the adventures of Captain Cook, who was a very real person. Captain Kirk being his fictional counterpart. So, anyways, yeah, indeed, a fun little Maui connection there to Star Trek. Let's see here. Yeah, let's see. I'm reminded of the "I am determined" card when you talk about the little engine that could. I think I can. I think I can. I knew I could. Well, yeah, we must believe that we can until we do, and everything feels impossible until it is inevitable. Every single thing that I've ever done in life has felt impossible until it was done, and then it felt inevitable. And I was like, well, and once it was done, I'm like, well, it couldn't have possibly gone any other way. Even though while I was doing it, I'm like, I can't do this. How on earth could I possibly do this? I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm very confused about this. And then all of a sudden it was done, and it works great. And I was like, oh yeah, well, obviously it happened. It couldn't have happened any other way. And taking us from impossible to inevitable is that doing the work will take us from impossible to inevitable. It always does. Let's see. Good morning, Josiah. Wonderful to see you here today. You are forever evolving, and so are we all. Let's see here. All right. Ticos para siempre. Yes, Wendy. Yes, the I love the Ticos. I loved living in Central America. Learned so much. I was actually just fixing something around the house yesterday, and I was reminded of the fact, if there's one thing that living abroad will teach you how to do, it is to be resilient and to figure out creative solutions for your problems. Because, boy, let me tell you, there are a lot of limitations to living abroad, and it can be quite the challenge to live without a lot of the resources that we take for granted in the developed world. And I remember when I first moved down to Central America that I was in awe of the people who'd lived down there for a little while and could just take the garbage that surrounded them and turn it into solutions to their problems. And you know what? After about 7 years of living there, I could do the same exact thing. I remember that I used to have like this little toolkit in my truck because I had no idea if my truck would start every single time that I turned the key. And that was just a common Central American related problem because stuff was just not of the same quality that it is in the developed world. And I remember that by the end of by the end of my time there, that I could drive anywhere in the country with confidence, knowing that I could get that truck to start with the toolkit that was available to me. And it didn't matter if the gas was bad, and it didn't matter if there were no parts available, and it didn't matter. I could jury rig stuff with chicken wire, and I could change anything I needed to change in order to make that truck continue to go. And it was just it was an incredible confidence builder and confidence booster. And yeah, they're definitely working with limited resources really helps us to understand how to be more creative with them. All right, guys. So it has been wonderful to hang out with you and chat today. I have a very busy day ahead of me, so I'm going to get to it. Thank you so much for attending the wake up call. This is your daily reminder that you are an amazing person. I love you. I care about you. I think that you are super cool, and you are limitless. And so transcend those old beliefs, those beliefs that don't serve you. Transcend those today. And as you do, we will together discover new ways to be. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. And tomorrow being Friday, we will go through all the cards for the week, and we will figure out what the story was of our week. So I will talk to you tomorrow, and talk to y'all tomorrow at 9 a.m. Until then, aloha from paradise.